Trainers, travelers, and paddlers! You know what it is? Jay Devin back at it again with another video. We got no time to waste. We got in a great amount of battles last night with your boy right here. Well, bam! Well, Frampy Pants. This guy tilted us in the Tempest Cup, so we're coming back at him. We're not going to play any games with the Kingdom Cup. If you saw the last video, Reacts had us tilted off the face of the earth with the bronze on. So we decide to go a little harder on this. We're opening up with a Charizard, which is a little ballsy. He switches on to the Lapras, but at this point, I had thrown in a Steelix because I needed some kind of ground coverage because I wasn't trying to get tilted by Bronzong again. I don't know why I ended up switching into Steelix when he had a Lapras out. That was a really bad choice. Don't do that. I should have gone into my own Lapras because that's going to be a more of an even matchup and it's going to save a bit of shields. Depending on the rest of his lineup too. That's the thing about these practice battles is I don't know what their lineup is ahead of time like I'm gonna know ahead of time when we're actually going into a tournament. I can't sit there and really look at their teams. I just know I haven't battled with this person before and I don't know what their lineup is. So I'm going in kind of blind in all of these, but it's that kind of meta where you can go in with something that people don't see coming and you can win with a sub-meta lineup. And to be honest, I really don't like that. He took the first win on that. So I think we ended up switching up what we were going to lead with in this next battle. I wanted to take him off guard a little bit to see if I had something maybe he didn't see coming. You know, that's really all you can do in practice battles like this. But that wasn't the point. The point is, like I've said before, is to test out the lineup of the 6 Pokemon that we have when we're going in. Treat it kind of like it actually is a tournament. So we decided to go full aggro on it and lead with the Lucario, which he opens up with an Altaria. If you've seen any of the previous videos or if you've watched other PvP tubers when they're putting up videos like this of their practice matches, you know that it's not exactly going to be favorable for Lucario, but it can be kind of an even matchup if you play the cards right. It really just depends on how it goes. This is one of those small situations where the Pokemon's IVs might actually go into play on how the battle turns out, because Lucario being able to take 1 or 2, probably just 1, realistically, just 1 extra Dragon Breath can exponentially increase his performance and his damage output. Because if he can take out the Altaria sooner, whatever he's going to come in with next, if I built up another Power Punch at that point and he doesn't block it, that could change the entire match. Lucario is really the powerhouse of this entire meta. This matchup right here, Lucario versus Bastiodon, is what this meta is all about. And that's why people run Lapras. That's why people run Steelix. And that's why people run Charizard and Alolan Marowak. That's where all these other choices come into play, is really because of those two. I love them, but I hate them. Lucario and Bastiodon need to be banned.
Bruh.
Okay, not banned. That might have been a little that might have been a little aggressive in saying that, because then you could say Lapras should be banned, Altaria should be banned, all these other Pokemon should be banned. No, that's probably not what needs to happen. But anyways, I decided to go not so much aggro, but to, I guess, kind of play a little more defensively, because these past few practice matches that I've had with people, I've tried to go full aggro to see if I can catch them off guard, but then they end up playing defensively against me like Reacts did the other day, and they're going to lead with a Bronzong. So I decided to play a little defensive and switch out to the Bastiodon. Now, lead with the Bastiodon. Now, my thought process behind leading with the Bastiodon is if he opens up with a Lapras, that's pretty much going to be favorable for me. If he leads with the Lucario, which is going to do a bit of good damage against me, I'm going to switch out to a good Lucario counter that might not be so directly counterable by anything else. So that's what I mean by general coverage, but also playing a little defensively. It's more of a safe play than a powerhouse play or being super aggressive with your plays. So this is one thing I've discovered with my practice battles so far as well too, is I'm really thinking when we go into the tournament, it's going to be best to play defensively like this. Because you've seen, use me as an example, okay? You've seen when I lead aggressively, I lose. And that's because other players are playing smart and they're playing defensively. And it made me realize that's because this entire meta, you need to play defensively. Don't try to go super offensive with everything. You need to be smart about your lead, your closer, this is the kind of meta where I can firmly say there actually is safe and good leads, and there's safe and good closers. Being super aggressive in certain situations when you see other Pokemon on their team, such as Bastiodon, Lucario, Lapras, right? The ball core. When you see things like that, it's not really going to be a good idea to be super aggressive with your lead and your closer. You should probably try and play as defensively as you can, because if you can win the match by 1 HP, it's still a win. It doesn't matter by how much you win. If you win, you win. And that's what these matchups are all about. And that's also why IVs can actually come into play, because all of these matches, when people are playing defensively and they're actually putting a lot of thought into the teams that they build, IVs can change the entire outcome of a match or even a single battle, which ultimately can change your turnout in the tournament and where you place, and if you end up going to regionals, etc., etc., etc. I decided to go for the Shadow Ball. I learned before that don't even waste your time to go power up punch super duper aggressive against a Alolan Marowak with a Lucario. It's not going to work out for you. They're going to have Shadow Ball. They're going to have Bone Club. Bone Club will be super effective. Shadow Ball is going to be neutral. And both of them, if you don't block it or have shields, will destroy Lucario every single time. That's why Alolan Marowak has a place in this meta. Even though Lapras destroys him and Bastiodon destroys him, he still has a good place because Lucario needs to be checked. It needs to be checked so hard. At this point, I mean, the battles have been, I feel like they've really been kind of even. As you've seen so far, it's always been about what choice you make and when. What you lead with, when you shield, when you don't shield. So really, all I could say is that there is no, I've said this, I'll keep saying this a million times until the Kingdom Cup is over and we're on to the next one. There is no best team. There is no best lead. There is no best closer. There might be a best time to shield, actually. I don't want to jump ahead of myself on that. So really, this is when player strategies need to come into place. When are you shielding? When are you not shielding? And a lot of those times, it's really hard to tell because people will have Pokemon that have legacy moves. Like Lapras. If somebody has a Lapras that has Water Gun, Ice Beam, and Surf, which, in my opinion, is going to be the best kind of Lapras for the Kingdom Cup meta, it's almost impossible to tell, from my experience at least, when you need to shield and when you don't. So it might not even be about player strategies. It's got to all be about sheer dumb luck and what Pokemon you have. If you have those Primo Legacy Laprases that have ideal IVs for PvP and Legacy moves, you might have just a better chance of winning just by having that Pokemon in that lineup in the first place. So we took the W on that one. He did actually have a shield left over. I think he was trying to be more conservative and defensive with his plays, which is what I've been talking about. But as you just saw from the lineup and the Pokemon that I had, it didn't work out so well for him because of just the Pokemon that I had and the moves that I had on them. So I can't really say at this point that the Kingdom Cup meta is going to be skill-based. I really do not think it's skill-based. It's going to be lucky decisions and the Pokemon that you bring. That's pretty much going to be my verdict at this point, because we've seen some of the best players lose tournaments, such as King. He didn't end up winning this last tournament that he did. If you go watch his video on his channel, his latest video, I don't know, he's putting out videos all the time, but his recent one where he did a tournament recap, he's such a good player, arguably the best that we have right now, and he didn't win. So, I mean, that is what it is. Take it with a grain of salt, but just, think about it. Really, if you can get your hands on a Lapras, that's ideal. If you can get your hands on all of these Pokemon with ideal IVs and movesets, I think your chances of winning exponentially increase. The biggest investment I had for this Kingdom Cup meta was this dude right here, Bastiodon, the monster tank, because he was expensive. He wasn't lucky. I bought a second move before I maxed him out, and it cost me so much to max him out. I'm still recovering from it. But those are all the battles. That's pretty much, well, bam, all there is to it. No more to see. So moving forward, guys, I'm still just going to keep probably putting out practice battles, and what I really need to do is slow down, and instead of pumping out content, I need to study up things myself because I really don't want to lose this tournament that's going to be coming up. But that's it for this video. Drop a like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Have a good freaking day.